Good morning, freedom fighters. It is 11 a.m. Eastern Time, March 12th, 2024. Quite a bit of chemtrail activity this morning over, looks like D.C. and Maryland, parts of Canada, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Indiana was smoked out. Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska was smoked out. All of Texas was put out today, and most likely all this material over Mexico as well. But we're going to zoom in here over the states of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Arkansas. Very heavy chemtrail operation ongoing. This is live. This is 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central. I'm going to pause for a second and load it this morning right before daybreak. You can watch this activity start. Very heavy chemtrail activity yesterday in Florida. The videos were amazing from the beach. If anyone has not seen that yet, I advise clicking on or looking for the beach scene of yesterday evening. Stand by. I want to show you what's going on here. This is 5 a.m. this morning. We went back 6 hours. Very heavy chemtrail operation out into the Atlantic Ocean for some reason. It's unusual to me why they're still spraying just kind of like for no reason here. But this material does go and connect onto Europe. I'm going to bump it ahead and you can see how this material started today. You can already see a couple lines over Mobile. We're just going to bump it ahead a little bit. And you can watch how this activity started. Oh, I forgot about the lines in Florida is where they were this morning. Sorry about that. Lines over Florida first thing this morning. Very distinct. Looks too small for weather operations. I worry about what they are spraying when they do these small concentrated spray areas. But you'll see how the whole entire area is sprayed out as it breaks daylight. Crisscross patterns. Instant operation. There was no spray in the beginning over Louisiana. Very distinct lines in the sky here. Click back to visible. It shows up better in visible for some reason. It might be a different kind of material. Very heavy spray over Louisiana. This is at 9:44. The thermal doesn't really even show it as good as it normally would. Might be lower in the atmosphere or something. The ripples in Texas, it looks like tire tracks is from a machine. It can go in any direction. It has nothing to do with gravity or any other fictitious term they can come up with. It's a machine turned on, most likely from satellites, but it does have something to do with radar systems and your cell phone systems as well, working as one device. People like wondering why, like, oh, it can't be this or that. It's all of it. It works as one. It's one giant computer controlling all this. It's not 30 people doing it. It's one person controlling it. They have listening stations, the government does, with nobody in them. It's just computers running these listening stations. Very heavy chemtrail operation up here over Chicago this morning. We're going to look at it next. Millions of people live underneath these operations, and they're almost too small for weather to me. They look more like spraying dispersants or poisoning land. Because all this material, whether they wanted it to be or not, is toxic to our environment. Very heavy spraying over Detroit. Just tight areas over cities, guys. Why would I be spraying tight areas over cities? You don't think DC gets sprayed? What's that over DC? That's not a natural fog. I should have started it out with that because most people don't have an attention span past 2 minutes. They don't watch it for 10 seconds, 90% of the people. They don't want to know the truth. Thank you to the warriors that stick it out to the end. I love to hear your comments. I've just been really busy doing my mom's house. Here's another very heavy spray. I was talking about over Iowa and Minnesota. It's just too much to even go over in one video. It's just the largest operations, but they're not as much weather related as it looks like concentrated areas of spraying. There's some weather here. Let's put it on thermal. I guarantee you that's weather. Why did it jump? Let's go back to live. I want to show what's live. What's going on live? Excuse me. Terrifying people. Let their frequency waves out here, and they can just push this material in any way they want. I'm just going to put it on a 2-hour loop. It should load pretty quick. These waves just push this material in any direction they want it to go. Most likely it's the satellites. There's people that believe space isn't real, and how I'm ever going to convince you there's satellites in the space. But my family worked on computer components for satellites. I live in Florida where we launch rockets up constantly, putting these satellites up in outer space. Mercy. Heavy chemtrail today, guys. It's back in Florida too. Look at that. You can already see the ripples. Yesterday's sickening. And I still got people asking me if it's just ice. It's all in motion here. We might as well look at each state as it gets poisoned. Well, at least the politicians are getting it too, guys. They have no control over this. I want y'all to realize this is the UN spraying everybody. They don't care about these politicians. These politicians ain't smart enough. They've never been outside more than 10 times in their life. People listen to these people making videos about flat earth and all. I want you to realize they've never been in the ocean before. They've barely been outside a building. They've never seen the Milky Way. They've never seen gigantic meteors hit the ocean. They've never been almost electrocuted by lightning strikes that hits the ocean just yards away from you. I've seen it boil the water. Oh, it's terrifying watching all these people being poisoned. Then people leave comments. It's flat. Ain't nothing flat about it. If I can only save y'all. Commercial fishermen standing by. We live on a beautiful planet. Oh, I want to check out this. Look at this. I've been right here. This is Louisiana. Look how good you can zoom in. That is a duck blind. There's no satellites. I can zoom in on duck blinds. This is a duck compound. So I put a lot of money and effort into building. I thought it might be the oil field. Look what the oil fields did. I fish all this. I've shrimped every inch of this wagon wheel is what we call it. The wagon wheel. But they cut all this. They wonder why our marsh washed away. All this is gone. There's none of this land's here. All this land's gone. All this land's gone. It's all washed away, all this bottom land. There's only the rocks in the damn creek now. Because they cut holes through all of this. They let current into swamp that hadn't had current in 10,000 years or whatever it's been since the flood. 11,500 years. Beautiful Mississippi Delta. That river's so toxic because of all the runoff. All the runoff of this river. I fished it. Surprised I survived it. My family's still there. The Mississippi watershed's incredible. And it's still dark up here where my friends are. It's been daylight forever for us. But where my friends live in Alaska, it's dark right now, where I'm going. I've been all over here too. Look at the glaciers. I've seen all these. I flew over all these. The glaciers aren't melted, but they're surely trying. See, I've seen all these mountains in person. I can see these from out here. I fished this edge, and I can see this mountain range. It's like 100 miles away or something. How far is that? A good idea to look. We're going to run out of time. Commercial fisherman out.